I was about 8 and I was taking the trash outside after the sun went down when a hand reached from the side of our back deck and grabbed my leg trying to yank me. I screamed very loud and they let go and I ran inside. Heck no, man! That's why I don't do chores or take out trash. Because I don't want to get kidnapped, not because I'm lazy. That was such a close call. Seriously though, if anyone tries to kidnap you or grab you and attack you, just scream. That's the first thing you do because it freaks them out and they don't want attention and people staring, so they'll most likely leave you alone. And if that don't work, punch them in the throat. But anyways, thanks so much for coming back for another scary video. Before we get started, as always, don't forget to subscribe, be a part of the Socially Awkward family, and follow me on Instagram. Links are down below. And give this video a like and a share with all of your friends. And comment below your favorite scary movie. Because today we are reacting to scary Home Alone stories. And I think we're ready, so let's do this. Once I was alone watching TV and the door behind me closed and locked. Heck no, that's a demon. Or it could be the air conditioning. But how would it lock the door? I was a kid around 10 years old and I was babysitting my 7-year-old sister. We grew up near an insane asylum. Dude! And every now and then we'd get an escapee in our yard. Your parents need to be arrested for child abuse, making you live there. They'd walk off the grounds and head through the woods towards the nearest big town. They'd get about a mile to our place and realize walking 40 miles to that town was probably not happening. So they'd ask us to use the phone to call and get picked up by the hospital. This happened every now and then, but this was the first time it happened when I was home without my folks. The woman who arrived in our driveway wanted me to call the hospital to pick her up, but she also asked me if I had some matches, presumably to light a cigarette. I ushered my sister into the house and locked the door as I called. The woman was kind of half screaming, half moaning, "Matches, I need matches." Okay girl, we all need something, chill. Until they came to pick her up. I'm sure it was just for a cigarette, but it also could have been to burn us alive, so I didn't give her any. Yeah, seriously. Y'all need to move out, cause that's too much. Have all these escaped crazy people coming into your yard trying to use your phone? No, you can't use my phone. I had just moved into my first apartment. It was around 8:30 p.m. and I heard the doorknob moving like someone was putting a key in it and turning and knocking. At first I got really excited that my boyfriend was home, but then I realized it was only 8:30 and he was due home from work around 10:30. So I looked out the kitchen window and didn't see his car or anyone's car I had known parked outside. That's when I panicked. The doorknob kept moving for a few more seconds and then stopped. A few minutes later, they had some piece of metal they were sticking between the door trying to open it. I freaked out at that point and locked myself in the bathroom with a knife and called 911. They tried to pry the door open for about 3 minutes before they stopped. The police surveyed the area and found an elderly man roaming around with a knife and a crowbar. He used to live in that apartment and he wanted his stuff back that we stole when we moved in. I was told he was really delusional. Well, why'd you steal his stuff? Just give it back. It probably wasn't even that interesting, just some old Conway Twitty albums or something. So this took place in my backyard when I was a kid. My mom had made a tree swing by putting a large log across 2 trees. They were made to split at the top in Y shapes. I have no idea what she's talking about. Basically, it's a swing made out of a log. A rope hung down from the middle of the log and there was a wooden slab to sit on and swing. I was out there swinging away when suddenly, before I knew what had happened, I was pulled backwards and found myself laying on the dirt. I looked up just in time to watch the log that was holding the swing split and came crashing down. I had used the swing a billion times and where I landed wasn't even reachable at maximum swinging capacity. I looked up and no one was around. The feeling of being pulled back is permanently logged into my brain. So it sounds like a ghost saved her and it pulled her out of the way just as the log came crashing down. But still, that is scary. It's like, dang man, I was just swinging away. Don't interrupt my playtime. Lived out in the middle of nowhere surrounded by woods and corn and wheat fields. Alright, you live in a scary movie. I was home alone one night and decided to step out on the porch for a cigarette. Why all these people smoking? Don't smoke, it's nasty and bad for you. I'm about halfway done, take another drag, and when I blow out the smoke, it rolls around a face about a foot away from me. Needless to say, I tossed the cigarette and knocked back inside and locked the doors. Dude, it sounds like there was a ghost right in front of her and the smoke, like, shaped its face. That would be so terrifying. You literally live in a scary movie. I have one friend that's always telling me she has like supernatural encounters and ghost stuff happening all around her all the time. And I'm like, don't bring that crap in my house. A couple years ago, I was home alone, husband traveling out of state. I put on the news on the Samsung Smart TV in the living room, set the remote on the coffee table, and went into the kitchen next room over to make dinner. After a few minutes, I noticed I don't hear the sound of the news anymore, and I thought maybe the signal went out or the TV timed out and shut itself off. I came back into the living room and the TV screen is showing a picture of a couch in a living room. My living room. Takes me a minute to realize the camera in my TV has been activated and it's showing a live video of my room. The remotes were still on the table, so no chance the dog accidentally stepped on them and pushed buttons or anything. A few days later, news broke out that Samsung Smart TVs had a hacking issue. Guess the real mystery is how often was I spied on before I put tape over the camera? Dude, someone hacked into her TV and was looking at her. That is so terrifying. I need to put tape over my cameras. But honestly, all they would see is my double chin watching Netflix. When I was about 13, I spent the night over at my cousin's house. We were home alone for the night and stayed up late playing video games. I remember he left the room to use the restroom. I must have been playing something good because I was sitting on the edge of the bed up close to the TV. As I played by myself, I felt my cousin come back into the room from behind me and he laid back down on the bed. Gave me a little bounce as if he had jumped on, bed squeak and all. When I turned back to talk to him, he wasn't there. He was still in the restroom. I looked down on the bed where I thought I had felt him and there was an imprint on the bed coming back up, like if someone had been there and were just coming off of it. I have far more stories about that house, but that's definitely one time I felt the most shaken. Hey, little ghost Timmy wants to come play Fortnite with you. What's wrong with that? He ain't doing nothing. Give him a snack. Be a good host. One night when I was about 12 or 13, my parents were gone for a while and I was just staying up really late, past midnight, on my desktop computer waiting for them to come home. Like most people, I had been told a million times not to talk to strangers on the internet, but about half of my friends list on MSN were people I have never met before, so I was just chatting with a bunch of them. Okay, that's fine if you want to talk to random people on the internet, just don't give them any personal information. Your name, where you live, your social security. Just, you can talk about movies, but don't tell them anything about your real life. Anyways, out of nowhere, one of my online friends had told me exactly what I had been doing the past hour or two, e.g. what I was eating, drinking, playing with when I had gotten up last. Things I hadn't mentioned in the chat. I instantly got a horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. My desktop was set in front of a big window, so as far as I knew, this person I had been talking to that was supposed to live in a different country than me had found my address and had been watching me through the window. Dude, you have a stalker. Yeah, people can track you through the geolocation of your laptop or something. I don't know what it's called. I'm trying to sound smart, but it's possible. So be careful who you talk to. Turns out he had somehow hacked into my webcam. I also left it plugged in even though I had been warned not to when I wasn't using it, and had been frequently watching me through it whenever he wanted. It's been 10 years and I still have all the cameras on my devices covered in thick duct tape. Yep, girl. No stalkers. I was watching TV on the couch with the dog around noon or so. Suddenly she perks up, the hair on her back stands on end, and she begins snarling at the corner of the room. This dog, who was a previous abuse victim and scared of her own shadow, hesitant to ever bark or attack, was in a position to lunge. Right at that moment, I hear a clear, defined footsteps walk from my roommate's room across the hall, right in my line of vision. Oh my gosh. No one is there, but I'm looking directly at the source of the sound. The dog is on the defensive, but her tail is tucked between her legs at the same time. Immediately following this, the room got really cold for a few seconds and it took her a while to lay back down. Aw, your dog wanted to protect you. That's like one of the small things that I'm worried about if I get a dog. They'll just start barking at a random corner of the room in the middle of the night and I'll be like, we don't need that crap in this house. One time when I was about 8, back when kids were allowed to run free range in our country neighborhood, I came back early from playing with some neighbors and went to sleep on the couch as I was tired from running rampant. My parents thought I was still at the neighbor's house, so they left to go to the store. When I woke up, it was dark and the power had gone out. I climbed off the couch and started calling for my mom when I started hearing noises from the basement, which I never went down to anyways because it scared the crap out of me at that age. It was a scratchy noise, like something with claws was dragging against the concrete floor. Naturally, I was scared, crapless, so I ran back to the couch, climbed into the hole underneath the cushions, and waited until my parents got home. It only took them 20 minutes, but to an 8-year-old scared of being eaten by some basement monster, it felt like hours. Heck to the no, you heard scratching? That is literally the definition of a demon. You need to move out. But yeah, that's it for today's scary Home Alone stories. Comment below which one you thought was the creepiest. And be sure to give this video a like and a share with all of your friends. And subscribe and follow me on Instagram to be part of the Socially Awkward family. Links are down below. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you beautiful people next time.